Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first installment of a series of interviews brought to you by Community Cares KC and produced by the Vine Street Studio in Kansas City. Community Cares KC is an advocacy coalition for affordable and attainable workforce housing for distressed areas of Kansas City. As founder of Community Cares KC, I thought we'd start the series off by having an informal fireside chat with the organization's co-presenter, Christina Hoxie of Hoxie Collective. Welcome, Christina.
Thank you for inviting me, Pat. It's a great honor to be here with you today. And I think we should start with you telling folks just a little bit about your background and how you envisioned Community Cares KC. How'd you come up with this?
Well, as you know, I built my house in the urban core at 19th and Cleveland about 30 years ago. And over the years, I kept driving around and seeing how our neighborhoods were deteriorating beyond belief. And I said, as many of us do, someone needs to do something about this. And because of my experience with housing development and urban core development in particular, I thought, well, let's start a coalition. And, as a result of that, of course, I reached out to you. We put together a proposal, went to the Health Forward Foundation, who we love, by the way, because they were the ones who actually enabled us to start this organization. Mm-hmm. And we can't say enough good things about them. So why don't you tell folks a little bit about yourself and how it is that we came together?
I'd love to. First of all, you invited me. And that was the start of such a great idea and a great collaboration. You are so much fun to collaborate with. I learned so much from you, and I think we just have a great time together, really exploring the possibilities of this idea and how we can be of service to our community. When you came to me and asked me to think on this with you, it was such a perfect alignment with the business that I've been working on, the practice that I've been creating in community planning. My background in urban and regional planning and as well as architecture has led me to create a social entrepreneurship that really focuses on community planning here in Kansas City, Missouri. And some of the recipes of a vibrant, healthy community boils down to having safe, quality housing that everyone can afford and feel well supported in and able to participate in the social structure of their community, get around to their jobs, their doctor's appointments, their family members with accessibility and equity, and have healthy, vibrant spaces to gather in and recreate in. Those are kind of some of the basic ingredients of great community.
Well, I had seen you in action and a number of neighborhood meetings. And what I liked about your style was that you were able to engage people, but also make them feel as if and they were a real part of the planning process. And you established relationships with neighborhood organizations, which many times can't be easy to do. But that plus your reputation of being so thorough as it relates to research was something I think that we needed. Because the first thing we had to do was to be able to define what the problem is in Kansas City. Yeah. And we were, I think, both surprised to know how many folks didn't realize that, in essence, we are in an affordable housing crisis in Kansas City. So tell us a little bit about some of the research that you guys have done.
Sure thing. And thank you, by the way, Pat. It's a privilege to get to work with the communities that invite me to work with them, and I love that work so much. It's based in this place between research and a foundation and engagement, really that community agency. So the research that we started with for Community Cares KC was about policy, and we started big, as you do in these processes, right? You start with as much information as you can collect on all of the related issues of housing. And we looked at KCMO and we looked at KCK, and we looked at all of their policies and how they were or were not able to achieve those policies. We looked at the landscape of what land was available and who was developing that land, how much housing costs had changed over time, who was able to access this housing, and where were the opportunities to create a more equitable pathway for people to be homeowners and to be renters, to be truly part of their community in a safe and well-supported way. So we had so many conversations after we collected all the data we could find. We talked with every department head in both cities' departments. We brought our coalition together, and that coalition is very diverse. It comprised of neighborhood leaders, of nonprofit directors in housing, of small developers, and we were so lucky to bring together this coalition.
They bought into it.
Oh my gosh, with full hearts and intellectual capacity that was beyond our wildest dreams. Really, they came to the table and waded into this issue with us and helped define
And some of the numbers that we've come up with have been absolutely amazing. I mean, we discovered that 24,000 families in Kansas City, Kansas could only afford $400 a month in rent. I mean, these are statistics that are astounding to me, that there are 54,000 housing units. That's what we need in terms of affordable housing in the Kansas City region, and 17,500 people on the waiting list for Section 8 subsidized housing vouchers in Kansas City, Missouri alone. I mean, these numbers are just amazing and tragic.
It really paints the picture of what we're up against. And so many cities have been there before us. We can look to other cities as those examples, and that was a part of that research we did too, to understand what's coming next. And some of those other related issues are about some of the out-of-town investors that are really locking up a lot of that supply that we currently have so that we can't access it too.
And so that's one of the emerging issues that we're looking at. The three top issues that we have found that our coalition wants to tackle, one of them being our beloved land bank. So we want to be able to work with them and figure out ways in which we can tackle those 3,500 or 4,000 vacant lots that are in Kansas City. They also said to us that they need a resource hub and a fund for small-scale developers. We would also like to develop a grants fund to pay for pre-development costs for small-scale developers. And so to have a resource hub would really help even the government, because as we've come to understand, government can come up with a lot of programs, but they don't have the capability to outsource or a way that to inform the public about those programs so that they can have better access to them.
So true. And the one-stop shop strategy that our partners also advocated for was another way to kind of streamline processes within City Hall for the small developers, given all the reasons that we just talked about, the need for additional funding to clean land bank lots and get clear titles, and start up the infrastructure again on those vacant lots, and the exorbitant costs of construction that are only continuing to grow right now. Really providing that support for small developers to connect and coordinate between all those departments and coordinate the funding sources, both, like you said, from City Hall and from outside sources in a streamlined format.
One of the other aspects of our goals has to do with the output of communications. This, of course, being the first interview for a series that we'll do. So what's amazing to me, and you and I have talked about this before, is the internet and the fact that we really need to make, we need to utilize that resource more. And so we're looking forward to you and I putting together a list of folks that we'll interview and also at some point in time put together some small stories about the agencies that we're working with. So we're looking forward to that part of this journey.
Absolutely. And as we think about that funding and resource hub, and the collaboration that the coalition is already participating in, as we look forward to that, the services that the resource hub can offer, that our small development community has said that they need. This is just another opportunity for kind of a radical form of collaboration between all of those organizations that are already hosting amazing programs.
Yeah, on the ground doing the work is what I continually say.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that makes our initiative different is that we are talking about, for one, a coalition of people who are doing the work.
Absolutely.
We are also wanting them to come together and work on different issues at the same time. And that's one thing that President Obama said when he was in office, which was, we have to learn to be able to do that. We can't just go after one issue with a silver bullet, you know? We've got to be able to be sophisticated enough to work on many issues, or at least more than one at the same time.
Absolutely. And we know what a systemic problem this has been over the years. And the only way to truly find solutions is to find systems-based ones. It takes us all.
Yeah. But once again, though, I think what makes us different is that we are looking at it from a systems-based approach and not looking at it from a legislative approach. I mean, we love working with government. We love our government officials. We certainly want to work with them. There's no question about that. But oftentimes the problems that we are facing, they're not able to solve. And I think this goes along with the mood of the country as it stands right now, and that we are saying to let's do this ourselves. Let's step up and let's see what it is that we can do. We think we're smart people.
We can do this.
We can do this. And so I think we can, looking towards the future, I know one of the things we talked about is, where is this going to lead to?
Yeah.
Where will we be in 3 to 5 years? And I'm hoping that that some of these systems will be changed. They'll be more accessible. And that we'll be able to see a stabilization of urban core neighborhoods and a revitalization of urban core neighborhoods. That's what we're looking to do.
That's what we are looking to do, and with the community members leading the charge. Right. This is their vision, really. When it comes down to it, we have the great honor of supporting communities to achieve their vision of these healthy, stabilized, well-housed communities, right? And having it be through their voice and with their vision.
Well said, Christina Hoxie. Thank you thank you for joining me on this journey.
Thank you.
So thank you for joining us today. For more information about Community Cares KC, just visit our website, communitycareskc.org. See you soon.